Okay, so let me fix this here. I don't even know if ideally my arm stuff doesn't show. I don't think so. Yeah, because I did not shave that well. Anyway, it is what it is. Real life. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about myself and what I've been doing lately, a bit of my background, and then we're also going to try the main focus is trying to see. So I've got some like glitter glosses, and I feel like they're becoming more trendy, and you know, they're in different budgets. So I was going to try them. Well, most of them I've tried, but just show you guys some choices that are out there. Anyway, I'm gonna go in with this Maybelline Super Stay first. I'm not doing sunscreen since I'm not going out. It is like, it's late evening, kind of, not too late. So the Moda brush. Do half of my face as usual. This is a really nice foundation. Anything I'm showing, it's gonna be, you know, unless I say it's a try on, anything on this channel is going to be a, you know, something I consider good quality, unless I say otherwise. Okay, but it's gonna be assumed it's good quality. So there's about half. Very nice coverage. I just feel like it does a good job. So this is the half width, and this is without for now. So it does a good job, like very nice coverage for a tint. It's technically a skin tint, not a foundation. And face looks smooth. It's basically a better version of your skin. It emphasizes everything that I feel like most of us want in a skin tint. And I don't think I've shown this on this channel so far. So the other foundation I talk about is the Maybelline Fit Me, which is a nice one as well. Anyway, this week was a little bit overwhelming and emotional, but overall okay. Overall decent, I guess. I did get unofficially kind of not ghosted, but so I've been going back into the whole dating scene, and I'm like, I should quit, you know. It's not a reassuring environment at all. L'Oreal Infallible. So I got back into the scene a few weeks ago, and I haven't met anybody, not a single soul in real life yet. I don't know if I will ever. I don't know. Sometimes I really feel like I should quit, because what's out here is just, it's very disheartening to say the least. You know, when you have certain ideas in your head of what being with somebody should be like, and it's not even high standards, it's just basic communication, some affection, some, you know, if you are an adult, at least like those kind of needs, adult needs or whatever. Like, it's just a normal interacting with an adult in that context. When you are an adult, it's like, that's it. And, you know, somebody just generally nice, generally considerate, someone curious, somebody not too boring, but not too crazy either. Like, I don't know. But it's even just the basics of communication. That's a real... I was just kind of surprised how many... It seems like all the men I've matched with just fail incredibly negatively when it comes to communication. So this is a really buildable bronzer, the 24-hour infallible bronzer. Lots of folks recommend it for a reason. I like to go fairly light, so that's about what I would normally do as far as bronzer. It is a bit dusty. Okay, so these are new. Should have bring wipes. Anyway, so for the glosses, we've got, I'm going to wear something underneath, most likely. But we've got, I'll do the rest of the face after I show you guys the glosses. So I was looking through, like, again, the subject as far as the beauty stuff is glitter. We're doing glitter glosses. So I looked through what I've had, and this is what I found. For instance, Wet n Wild, it's a very frosty kind of 90s gloss. These are just a few bucks, and I think this one's in the color, honestly I forgot, but I'll try to add it in the box. If Sinless, I think. Yeah, I wish. This is L'Oreal Infallible number 105. I don't know what the color is, but it's kind of similar to the, I feel like it's not quite as frosty, but it's similar-ish to the Wet n Wild. This one has a lot more white, kind of silvery as a base to the glitter. Yeah, because this is, there's not that much true color to this one, the L'Oreal, versus the Wet n Wild. There's definitely, it's more color than anything else, but there is still a decent amount of glitter. So for the Wet n Wild, they have the glosses that some have glitter, some don't. Really do have a nice selection, and these, they call them, from Wet n Wild, Mega Slicks. They're kind of gloss line. Sometimes it's kind of hard to find in store though. Then this is new to me, these Revlon glosses. I've heard a lot about, very trendy. This one's from LA Colors. This is just a few bucks, and it's very, this you can really get it to be very intense, very frosty. So if you're looking for true glitter, I would go for this one. It can be hard to find. And this is a little costly. I think Ulta carries these, the Light Lock lip gloss. And this one's in Such Great Heights. And what I like about this one is that you can do, like, it's versatile. I would say these are quite versatile, the L'Oreal and the About Face. So you can build them, or especially the About Face, you can get it to be very intense. The only thing with the About Face, I feel like there's not a lot of color in these, so whatever you have as your base, these really work best with the base. So whatever you have as like a lipstick, a base, it's going to, like, certain colors are not going to make this that intense. If you use certain colors, like light colors, it's going to make it look more like a oil or a very basic gloss. But if you do a darker color, or at least semi-dark, these, you can definitely build it to be decently intense. So I guess which one you choose, it varies on your budget, it varies on you know, how intense you want the glitter to look. It varies on how much time. Like, do you want something very intense and glittery? Then I would go for and you want it quick, I would go for the LA Colors. So far, again, I haven't tried this Revlon one yet, but in this video, I think it will be tried on. If you want something intense, but you have a bit of time, and you have the right base color, I would go for this one, and you have a good budget, because that one I think is around 20, a bit under, but around 20 bucks, so it's not very cheap, unfortunately. This is really like great for a center, the L'Oreal one, Infallible. It's great for like a center sort of gloss, or if you just want to highlight an area of your lip. So ideally I kind of explained the different choices that I know of. So for blush, we're going to use this Seraphine Botanicals Geranium and Glow, and this you can find at Walmart, for instance. I don't know if anywhere else sells it, but I'm just gonna show you guys. So basically I mixed all it has blushes and then it has a highlighter. This is obviously the highlighter, the rest are blushes, and it's much more pink in real life. On camera it's showing us kind of dark. Wow, these are normally gorgeous, but it's not showing. So there's a shimmer blush. Now that's better. You can kind of see it now. There's a shimmer blush, there's a basic matte. I don't know, I feel like it's emphasizing, normally it looks much better. I feel like it's emphasizing all these dots. Like the blush should really be showing. Let me see in real life what the amount, yeah. In real life it's definitely decently pigmented. I don't know if, is there a way? I can show, you see the color it's showing in the mirror? I don't think that does anything. Let me try going. Now you can see a little bit better with less light. There you go. Now you can see the color right over here. And yeah, so I just mixed all the blushes. Quite nice. And then you can see that the bronzer should have been much better blended. I feel like the face looks kind of heavy for some reason. Maybe I used too much, that's another thing. Another thing I have to be more mindful of. I think because I used to have so much, not a lot of skin issues, I was always very blessed, but since I had skin issues, it's like I got used to having to really cover. And the only way I knew how to do that is to go heavy, you know. That's all you can do. Try to make it look natural, but if you have to cover, you do. Anyway, so I thought as a base I would use this for now. These are the Catrice, the Slim Stick. No, not Catrice, Essence. So these are a few bucks and very affordable. I mean, that's how much these things should cost. It's ridiculous that a lot of these kind of things are more than a few bucks. Okay. We do focus on, you know, trying to stay true to generally, you know, what's within a budget, what's within someone's budget who is making, you know, not much. Let's just say that. So that's going to be the base. Maybe I should not use a bit much since we're going to go in with the gloss to really test out. Yeah, that might be a little bit too. Okay, so I did already use this in another, so we might skip this. I did use this in another on my channel before, so you'll just have to look for that one. I think it's and I titled it Dollar Tree Faves Alternatives. So I think I was trying on like something from Dollar Tree that I thought would be glittery, and then I was comparing it to that one. So we'll just just go with this one. You don't need anything under it, but I should have done it without. But you see how frosty? Few bucks. I'm not whining. Okay, there's that. The Wet n Wild. Now if you want something frosty, LA Colors. I got the wand quite messy because of that, but it's okay. Oh, no, it's not showing for some reason how... I don't think I have a lot of this left. Maybe that's why. It's not really showing how intense. I swear, the first time I used this, I got it to the level of the bottom, what you see on the bottom, very easily. I don't know why it's not. Anyway, I think I have to find a remover because I didn't bring that. I always forget something. Anyway, I guess we can go for this. Oh, I meant to bring the contour wand. So let's just go with this Stila as a highlight. Yeah, I know I didn't do the blush on this side here, but we're just, it's okay. We're just, guessing around for now. Trying to make this like a vibe of, just like, you're at home trying things on sometimes. Trying to make this close to normal life. Okay, so what I'm trying now is, and it's emphasizing all the little pores. This Stila, normally this is a very nice highlighter. I was impressed. The Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter, but clearly it doesn't want to work today. So, guess we're gonna go without. This Revlon, So Fierce, do a little bit of that. I do find this to be a bit expensive because you're really not getting that much shades, and it wasn't cheap, but there's something quite beautiful, as you can see, and you can just go out like that. I mean, it's a little bit out there, but as you can see, these are just kind of unique shadows, easy to work with. They have that bit of glimmer, like it looks like I'm wearing shimmer, but it still has like your darker colors. So I don't know, I find that something about these is very soft and kind of glimmery even, but not in a bad way at all. Just very elegant looking shadows, and you hardly have to do much. So I just went in with the two darker shades, and I did that all across the crease and kind of the corner, and then I used a light shade and I just did it all over, like here and here, so kind of in the general lid area. So that turned out real nice. Sometimes it does not turn out this nice, so, but generally it is a very nice eyeshadow thing. Fits in a bag, like easy to carry around. Hasn't broken on me yet at all for being such a soft formula. What else? Oh, I think we're gonna try this glimmer one. And then I think I was gonna see what I can do about this LA Colors, and that's gonna be it. And for concealer, there's this LA Colors Le Mercerie And this is a very light serum-y foundation. It's very hard for me to find even this shade. Like, if I find these at Dollar Tree, it's you know, I can only find the much darker shades, which don't work for me. But I know some skin tones, some folks have a very hard time finding their shade. So some folks have to deal with that all the time. So I'm not gonna whine too much, but it would be nice if they had, like, because literally when I found this one, it was the only one. They only had this single item of this shade. The rest were all much darker, so it's not an issue. Generally, it's just, obviously, it wouldn't be wearable for me. So someone of my skin tone wouldn't be able to find necessarily their match. That's all. I don't know, I just feel like my under eyes aren't looking that great. Like, I can't really tell the difference, to be honest. I mean, this looks like it has a little bit more coverage, but the lines and the under eye bag is just showing on both sides, so I can't really tell if this concealer did much. I don't think so, to be honest. I don't know, it's not horrible. I don't see anything negative with my under eyes after using that, but nothing great either. It's basically neutral for me. So if you have very light, like, your under eyes are already beautiful and not aged, not having a bunch of issues, then it might work for you. And it's like, that's what true affordability kind of looks like. The one that I would say is much better coverage wise would be this one from LA Colors. That one is very, very high coverage, so I can try to use. I just feel like I would run out of this quite fast, and it's not easy to find. Well, lately it's been easy to find, but generally it's like I haven't seen that one at Dollar Tree a bunch of times. It's just lately. So I just wonder, how easy or difficult is it going to be to find? So you see, coverage wise, I barely had to use anything, and it's so much better. Still, even I feel like, hold on. I was going to say, even the, like, under eye bag line is less noticeable than it is here. I have to blend it in more, but I don't know. I can't really tell which side looks better. So on camera, the whole face is looking heavy, and even in real life, let me see in real life. In real life, it's looking kind of heavy as well. Okay. So let me see. I just used my hand and just smeared. Let me try the Glimmer gloss. So this is just a clear. You know what these remind me of? It's a very Vaseline. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. It's glittery, but it's just a light. Do you see that reflect? It's like there's just a little bit of glitter everywhere, and it's organized beautifully. Wow. That is nice. I only did the bottom lips, so you can see. Well, that's all I got to, but you can see a difference. That is very nice. Wow. Very easy. The texture is fine. It is a thicker texture. It reminds me of the Fenty in terms of texture. It reminds me of the Fenty gloss. Maybe not quite as thick, but sort of in that same realm. I'm very impressed by that. And it was easy too. Like, I didn't have to dig around the tube. The LA Colors, I feel like quite quickly you have to dig around to get more of the gloss. Like, it's just not easy to get out of the gloss. The tube, I mean. It's not easy to get the gloss out of the tube. So, That's the thing. We're gonna try. Now you can kind of see a little bit. I don't know. I'm not getting this to work. Oh, I forgot about the L'Oreal Infallible. Let me try. I'm starting to feel a little bit of the tingle, but I think that's from, I don't think that's from the Revlon. I think it's from the LA Colors. Anyway, I think I was going to talk about myself, but it's not easy doing this. I got distracted. Okay. So that's mostly the L'Oreal now. So that's on the bottom. I'll do the Revlon on the top because they are similar. Let's see. I don't know why on the top it's not showing. I feel like because it is thick, you're not going to get this to last very long. So if I kind of go like this, you can see, but do you remember how the Revlon, I put it on here originally on the bottom? And if you remember how kind of glittery that was. And on the top now, I use the Revlon as well. And I'm not seeing, I even removed what I had on. I'm not seeing that, barely any glitter. I'm not seeing the same effect. So I don't know why. I don't know why that Revlon is behaving differently on the top lip versus the bottom. Maybe it has to do with what I used. I don't know why. I tried adding a bit more color, like just a base color, but it's still not. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. That is strange. I don't know how to fix that, to be honest. It is what it is. So let me remove. I'm just going to use water. I think I was just going to talk about how it's been financially for me as a single. So, background, although I do beauty things and, trivial stuff like this on my channel, I also talk a lot about relationships, finances, it kind of has to do with money, but like for instance, the fact that most of my life I've been single, and but like what I also talk about sometimes is, because I feel like it's not really stated in America, and we have certain ideas about family and how it's supposed to be so wonderful and all this, and we don't hear about folks basically saying how they're living a life where they don't have family, they don't have that network system, they don't have folks who are there for them. So for me, in my case, like, I've got family who are alive and some who are actively, it's just obvious, they're like, I live with family now and it's been the case for years, and so they're giving me housing. That's the reality. Is it there's a lot to be lacking as far as the environment for me, but you know, they're doing that and they don't have to. So I owe quite a bit of gratitude, although because of the other circumstances, it's hard to feel that way. So the bottom now is the LA colors. So you can see, you can get it to be quite intense. I think the issue was just the base color was not working out, so you really couldn't see it. Maybe that was the case with the Revlon too. But I don't know why. The base color worked okay with, you know, on the bottom lip. It's just, I don't know. I'm going to try the Revlon just by itself. So the Revlon does have a big kind of wand. Let's see. That's the Revlon by itself with nothing underneath. I think it works better with something underneath, because to me this bottom lip kind of looks messy. Like it just looks like you've got glitter all over. So I think you need a base with these. Oh, this does have a tingly sensation. I don't know why that glitter does not want to go on the top. I don't know. It's very strange. Maybe it's just hard to get all the residue, and like the different glosses are mixing with each other. And so what worked well with the base is, so this one, the L'Oreal Infallible, it seems like it doesn't matter if you have a base or not. It still looks nice. You're still gonna get that nice glitter. This one doesn't matter because it has color to it. These About Face ones, the color of the base does matter. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend wearing these without a base unless you're just looking for a very clear, teeny hint of color. So that one needs a base in my view. The LA Colors, this one does not clearly. It's better without, I think it's better without a base. The Revlon, I think you could use it. No, that one needs a base. Yeah, because I don't like the glitter kind of everywhere. I think having a color kind of helps, maybe minimizing, like just making the glitter look more natural. It's very glittery, so as you can see on the bottom layer, I think that was the Revlon. Anyway, so I'm just going to use like a towel and water to make the face look a little bit less heavy. Other than that, that's the final look. Okay, that's the final look. Kind of. It's what we can do for now. Okay? Alright, so what I was going to talk about was, yeah, the fact that I've got, you know, a lot of my life, I had a little bit of friends, not really. You know, I had family, but, you know, basically for me, I was in some areas a late bloomer, so that was very true financially. So I was well taken care of by financially, materially, by the individual that, you know, raised me, my caretaker or whatever. guardian, mother, etc. So I had everything I needed, a little bit of what I wanted in that sense. And then, communication wasn't really our strong suit, especially her, to be honest. And there were some sensitive just things I'm sure she wished I didn't do, certain kind of lifestyle things or whatever. And she just didn't like how I turned out in many ways in general. And, some of me, it's like I want to change, and other elements of me, I want to go even more, more intense and more steadfast, more firm. I used to be very, I don't even know what the word for it is. I was thinking meek, but that's not the word. Like, I used to be very, really go with the flow, why not? Like, very eager to just not want much trouble, not want much hassle, just do what's kind of told of me, and that's it. And that's still much easier, and that's still it's even easier for me, quite frankly, but then to do things differently. I don't know. Anyway, so because of disagreements, we'll just say it for now because of time, and that I might go into as well. Because of disagreements, I was cut off in a way that it was messy. It was very messy, and the timing was off, the communication was off, everything was just to me it was done without care, without, kind of in a cruel way. And, I was blindsided and totally not ready for dealing with, I had never covered a bill even. All the bills were taken care of by someone else, all of my food was bought by someone else, clothing, everything. I was still on someone's mobile account basically until the age of about 23, 24. So around there is when I started covering my own smaller bills consistently. That's when I got a mobile for the first time in my name on my own, for instance. So, meanwhile it's I would start to meet folks who, some of them were married, some of them were, basically I'm saying they had a whole life, already established. And here I was, first time really consistently buying groceries, just small things like that. So I felt not like everyone else in that sense, or what I thought everyone else was anyway. So yeah, that's kind of the background I come from, of once I was cut off, nobody, and even most of my life, it was just a single family member that would, fund my lifestyle, or even because there's some women, many women, more than we think, who I know, because I even know a few women who their housing, their rent is covered by whoever they're with. So, I think most women, they have had financial benefits, much more than I have. And for me, I just I never had a guy cover housing, but even on smaller levels, it's most of my life I never had a guy who covered anything financially in regards to my life, anything. So financially I was single in that sense as well. It's just when you're single, it's oftentimes you have to, as an adult, handle things yourself, so many things. And so of course you realize what you have to handle, for instance, finances, in many ways. Money is a thing, and you have to deal with money. So I don't know, just that allowed me to see human beings and kind of their, I guess maybe from a more distanced, it allowed me to see certain details, and see, okay, how does someone behave when we don't share finances versus when we do, the different dynamics, all that. Because even when it comes to housing, when you're living in someone's home, there are dynamics involved with that, right? Finances and stuff like that. There's control oftentimes. There's an imbalance because someone who owns a home has the social and legal directives, I guess you can say. They can do whatever they want with their house. And that includes like your stuff, your belongings that you buy, you work hard for. Even if you don't work hard, it's like they're your stuff, they're your belongings. Even if there's no doubt whatsoever. I've had times where many of my stuff has gone missing. I mean, the amount that has been stolen from me, in my housing environment, thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't have the time, I don't have the knowledge to sue, even if I wanted to. So that's just a loss. I'm never getting that back. And it's not just the material stuff, it's the the emotionality, the fact that you feel like somebody can always mess with you. You just feel overall unsafe in the world, just because of that alone, let alone, all the other dynamics that involve living in someone's home. When you're reliant on someone for housing. So it's not fun. But a lot of folks are going to be faced with this because I think soon many folks are not going to be able to live on their own, not even like with strangers. Even to live with others, but just have an area to yourself. In where I am, it's more than $1,200 a month. It's exorbitant, Sometimes you can find less, but they're a dime a dozen, or maybe it's the wrong saying. Basically, I found maybe I can count on one hand. It's not easy. It's very tough. They exist, but the numbers are small as far as the amount, very small, as far as the amount of housing units that are, less than 1,200. So, there's other ways which, as a female, that you can get housing for less, but even with those ways, it may cost you still. It's not going to be free necessarily. Maybe, but for most women, no. Yeah. So, kind of a heavy subject, but originally it was just going to be mainly about, I wasn't going to go into much detail about my life. It was mainly going to be about the overall look. And now with everything going on in this country and the housing stuff, I'm still learning. The Medicaid, the food assistance that's out there. It's very sad. And a lot of the Americans who are glad that this is all occurring, some of them have never known what it's like to fundamentally go without necessities, food, shelter, healthcare. But they may start to learn soon. And by that time, maybe all the few things that are out there are not going to exist. Um, and like the kinds of food assistance and, you know, Medicare, definitely Medicare. What's the other one? Housing, like certain kind of housing. They're all federally funded. So I Googled this because even I didn't know. Because I heard somebody saying like, oh, Trump can, they were arguing that it's better for, you know, with the whole EBT conversation and stuff, they were like, oh, it's better to, we should go back to commodity boxes where the government just gives you a box and you don't get to choose anything. And the argument was, well, you know, you're going to get more because you don't have to directly buy that, you know, with a budget that's given to you. So the argument is, well, the box is going to retail for much more than what folks can get even on a maximum level. So, you know, you could argue that that's smart. At least you're getting more. And it might be more useful for individuals, families, etc. But she was saying like, oh, Trump should go, and she was like, oh, well, he can just contract with the FDA or whatever, which may be, but from what I heard, it's if he's using basically anything that's using federal dollars, theoretically, technically, like legally, it has to go through Congress. So whoever's, you know, in Trump's title, president, I guess, and or there's another title, commander or something, I don't know. But whoever is in those titles, they can't single-handedly, you know, get rid of these, like anything that has to do with federal funding, they cannot get rid of, add new programs, etc. All of those actions have to be determined and authorized by Congress. And I guess maybe like the president has to sign off on it to finalize. But basically he has to get the consent of anything federally done with, you know, federal money, has to get the consent of Congress. So, like, I'm learning all this, how our government works, and I have no clue. Well, I have a little bit of knowledge, but not really. So I'm learning how it works on a local level and national level. I think like a lot of folks we have to educate ourselves before we start saying, oh, this should occur, this should not occur. We have to understand how the government works first before dictating what it should do, what it should not do. Because a lot of us don't know, and I can tell online, a lot of Americans don't know. And they're not really trying to figure it out. So, yeah, this is a look. I could have done an conclusion and went through exactly what I used again, but you guys can go through the video and figure it out. But that is the overall look. I don't know what other ideas to do when it comes to beauty. Okay, hope. I'm just wishing you guys didn't see certain details. I'll have to look at the video again. Anyway, that's it. You guys take care. Bye for now.